sometimes way up. I guess the Darren Hardy calls the entrepreneur roller coaster. But I'm on this for the long term, and it's part of the fun of the ride, I guess.
Yeah, Jeff, it's been great seeing you, seeing you grow in this business and seeing you develop in this business, and anyone that sticks around for a long enough period of time, gets to see sort of a transformation in a person, that's sticking with it. We see people come and see people go all the time, and really, when you reach senior director, you've reached sort of the top, 3% in the organization, and what does that mean? That just means that you've taken more no's than another person that just, I guess, isn't willing to keep their eye on their why for a long enough period of time, or have a strong enough reason to stay into it. So, I mean, your reason is really strong for being in here, and again, your stick-to-itiveness and your persistence, and then just your, you have to have a great attitude, and your attitude is great, which is why you're doing so well, and your team is doing great. So, Jeff, our subject matter tonight is, talking about, making a contact list and the importance of that, and then, doing what we can to master the invitation and just practicing inviting people. So we're gonna stick close to those two topics tonight, because that's kind of what we do here on a week-to-week basis. We cover a couple of topics, we go into some detail about them, and the plan is to have people have some things that they can use, and immediately put into action right away, this very night, or immediately tomorrow. You should have a notepad out, taking notes. So we're going to stick to those things, Jeff, and even just in you talking the past couple minutes about your background and how you were contacted and how you were invited, I made sure to just make a quick note about that. So, you got contacted by Manny, and you were busy proposing. That's a real good reason, probably not to look at the business plan. Although I'm sure Manny was like, man, people come up with so many excuses for nothing. Contacted you. I mean, how did Manny go about doing that? And what would you say your experience was, with his contact, and then subsequently, did you learn something from that, as you reflect back at it, and talk about, the importance of, your contact list and what people should focus on. So first, how you were contacted by Manny, and, were you on a list that he made, and then, what's the importance of your written contact list?
So I guess the first part of that is how I was contacted, and that would be via email. I'm not very good with my email. I'm one of those people that ends up with an inbox of 438,000, and it's not one of those things you can attack in a day. And so if I don't look at it right away, it ends up falling down to the bottom of the inbox. It may stay unread for 3 years.
Yep.
I try every now and then to clean it up, but it was basically what happened. I sort of clicked on it really quick just to try to get rid of some of those blue circles that tell me I haven't read it yet. Looked at it, and it said something about an energy company, and he partnered with some guys in the deregulated energy industry, and I don't know, at that time I lived in mind, not to go on a tangent, but the proposal was a flash mob. So I had put together a large group of people, I had set up a restaurant, had them all placed in a certain way, I had written an a cappella arrangement of a song, so there was a lot of things I had to put in place during that week and even the months prior to get that to go off without a hitch. And so when I saw it, I let it go. The second contact, though, from Manny was the one that got me, because he reached out to me via the phone. And for me, that worked better. I answer my phone, and once I'm on the phone, you kind of got me. And he said to me, had I not set an appointment and actually kept it, he probably would have just showed up here and told me, hey, look, you got to give me 15 minutes and take a look at this. But luckily, I was in the right place at the right time, or he was, I guess, and The phone call did it for me. He set the appointment, and he held to that appointment. I forget exactly what it was. I think it was maybe 10 o'clock on Sunday night, and it was 9:58, and there was Manny giving me a call. And I'm one of those people that if I tell you I'll be there, I'll be there. So that was pretty much that. I can't tell you if I was on his, written contact list. Manny had started in the business not too long before I did, and our upline was virtually non-existent. All but disappeared. So I don't know that when he first got started, did he have all of these steps to success in place. But I will tell you that the written list is so important. If for no other reason, then it takes your network out of your mind and onto the paper. When you visually see your network, oftentimes you can find other people that belong in the network. For example, you may write down your cousin's name, and then you can think all of a sudden of the friends your cousin has. And then you write them down, and all of a sudden you think, oh, well, I know her sister. And, oh, yeah, I met her brother at this party. I think I might be able to reach out to him. And the list starts to grow. It's sort of like a living, breathing organism, I guess. And the point is, you don't just write a list. This is something that you continue to add to. I will tell you, my contact list has evolved in so many ways. My first list was 6 people or 10 people on the list, and scribbles and scratches of different things I wanted to write. And if I get disorganized, and I don't know if anyone on this call has this problem, but if I'm not organized, I'm extremely disorganized. I get very stressed. I feel like if it's not in place, I don't know how to find it. So the written list really puts it all down on paper and allows you to keep better track of it. In terms of writing the list, the best suggestion I have is to not consider who would be good for the business. In other words, don't prejudge who would be the right fit. Because I've found 2 things. One, you limit your network on paper then, because you're only going after the ones you think would be good for it. And I'll tell you that oftentimes I've found the ones that I thought would be great either didn't want to get involved or got involved and did not. I prejudged and didn't think they would be a good fit, have done great things. So just be very open about the network that you have and put it all down on paper. Don't edit the list. Everyone you know goes on it. And also alongside that is don't prejudge anyone's interest. Oh, they wouldn't be interested. A short side story on that is Manny's wife told him not to contact me. She said, don't contact Christy and Jeff. They are way too busy. They have successful careers. They would not be interested in something like this. You just leave them out of it. And thank God Manny was smart enough to reach out to me anyway. And, I owe him a huge debt of gratitude for thinking of me and putting this opportunity in front of me, because it's definitely changed my life in the last.
I owe him a thank you as well. Because if it weren't for him doing that and you deciding to get started, we probably, there's a really, really good chance we wouldn't know each other at all.
Right.
So it's really amazing. We talk about that all the time, and we won't get off onto that tangent right now. But, one of the amazing benefits of this type of business are the people that you get to meet over the course of time and that you can develop relationships with. And really, think about it, the impact and effect that one person's decision has on introducing this idea to somebody. I mean, take a look. You've just promoted to senior director. That means you're doing great things in the business, and you'll be an executive director. You'll be a national director at some point in time, Jeff, as well. And it'll just be by doing the same things you're doing right now and being the leader that you're being. So I thank Manny as well. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that written contact list, so you know, whether or not you might have been on Manny's or not originally, because he was just getting started as well. The point is that, you know, you really need to dump your brain out onto a piece of paper, or, you know, probably for me, you know, what works best for me is really a spreadsheet. But just like you know, Jeff mentioned, whatever it is that's going to work for you. Right? Like right now, I've got a notepad out. I tend to take notes if I'm on a phone call or a webinar, and onto a notepad. And sometimes I'll transcribe that, you know, one more time, you know, electronically into another format. And for me personally, having something down on a piece of paper, or, you know, taking it from paper and putting onto, I don't know, a spreadsheet or a Word document or something, there's something. Guys, if you have, you know, if you have a list that has, you know, let's say 10 names on it, and you go through those 10 names, you invite 10 people, and you show the president. He says no, you're probably going to be pretty discouraged, because you've just burnt through the 10 contacts that you quote unquote think you have. But the bottom line really is that we know, all of us know, hundreds and hundreds of people, and it's really just taking time, you know, really, especially initially, if you're just getting started in the business, it's taking time, you know, every day, you know, dedicated time to say, who are the groups of people that I know. And I have on the screen right now just a small screenshot of a memory jogger, and there are other tools that you can use as well to help grow your list. And you really want to make that list as big as you possibly can. And now, like Jeff mentioned, you know, your list evolves over the course of time. And what does that mean? That means that you start to learn that as you're in your stream business, and this really kind of becomes part of your everyday life. I know that might seem a little bit strange or foreign to somebody that hasn't been with stream a while, but after you've been with stream or in a relationship business for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, lots of things become second nature to you, and one of them is adding contacts to a contact list. When you don't necessarily add them there, you know, or go out and meet people to go and stream them. We used to call it ignite them. And Jeff, by the way, that ignite insomnia that you talk about, it's definitely stream insomnia. That things were so we wanted to, I don't know what we call it now, streamostrated, but you know, ignostrated used to be a good term as well, when your things aren't going exactly the way you want to. But you know, your contact list is huge, and you build on it every day. And somebody that's, you know, conscientious of the fact that, you know, relationships are the key to this business. You know, we have a simple business plan, but it's the relationships that you develop, and the rapport that you develop, and the trust that somebody has in you that is going to make them be or want to be part of what you've got going on, period, at the end of the day. So the people that we add to our list, we're developing relationships with. So as we meet people and have conversations with them, they get added to our list, but that written list is so critical. This memory jogger here is, again, ways to categorize or help you think of people that you can add to your list. There's another great tool as well. I don't have it on here. Jeff, had you ever seen the 40 names in 4 minutes list?
I haven't, actually.
All right, so that's a cool one as well. And again, I think I have it as a tool that I'll share with people that registered here tonight, that I can send in an email message. And essentially, guys, it's kind of like your memory jogger. You know, you can basically, in 4 minutes, you can think of 4 family members, 4 friends, 4 friends of your friends, 4 people you work with, 4 people you go to church with, or maybe read books with if you're in a book club, or 4 people you play in a band. Jogger, you know, you can basically with, right, Jeff, something like that.
Exactly.
You can make a pretty quick list, and you want to just develop the contact list and make it as big as you possibly can. And after you've got your contact list made, and you've used all sorts of tools to help you develop that, that, and you are developing a daily sort of discipline of spending a few minutes every day thinking about the people that you know, emptying out your cell phone onto a piece of paper, essentially, right? And making room in your brain for new people, then there are going to be things that you're going to want to do to invite them to take a look at the Stream business plan. So, Jeff, I want to transition here, and we can always circle back and make another point about the importance of a list, but let's talk about the invitation. So, you mentioned initially that you got an email from Nanny, and the email for you was really sort of ineffective. It just fell into your 438,000 other email messages.
Yeah.
And that, just really didn't get your attention. But, man, when he called you and said he had something that he needed to take a look at, that you got your attention. He set an appointment with you and followed through on that. And you, as a result, looked at the information, and, well, here you are today. You ended up, Jeff, tell us a little bit about, invitation skills. If there's I think everyone's always looking for, hey, well, what's the script? What do you use for a script? And tell us, what do you guys talk about when you talk about the invitation and mastering the invitation?
My approach has changed a lot. When I first started, I didn't have an approach. I just had here's my link, join my business, it's going to be great. If you don't join, I'm going to send the link again and ask you to watch the video and let me know what you think, and that was a disaster. So that's not how we should invite, but I will tell you that what you see on the screen, it says here the steps to success. I use this, but I've also used something else slightly different since I've spoken to Jason Bias, who, if those on the call don't know who he is, he's a senior director with Stream, unbelievable leader, has done a lot for a lot of people, including myself. And I took something from him that I've used a lot, and then I'll get back to what you see on the screen. But something that I've taught my new associates is sending out invites via text. And I'll clarify this before I leave it at that. I don't mean here's a link, check it out and let me know what you think via text. That's a bad idea. But I say to a new associate, if you were to open a restaurant today, who would be the 5 people or the 10 people that you'd want to work with to help run that restaurant? Who are the people you trust the most? Who are the people that you feel are the most credible, the most motivated or driven? Let's get those few people on a list really quick. That's just right out off the top of your head, the first 5 or 10 people that come to your mind. And let's just send out a text to them that says, hey, what are you doing this week? I'd love to, or get together for a quick drink. I got something I want to run by you. Are you free any night this week, maybe 7 o'clock Tuesday, or would Thursday work better? Just a quick text message, because, something that I found, and this maybe also has to do with my age group. I'm 26 years old, and nobody I know talks on the phone. So when I got in this business and I started calling people, I called them and they answered. They kind of said, like, what's up? You never call me. You always text me. All of a sudden, here I am. I've got a great opportunity. And it just didn't feel right. It was a little awkward. And so that idea of just setting up a time to get together via text, it sets an appointment, and then you can simply go and show the plan. Now, if they say, what is it? Don't go into that rabbit hole where you start explaining the business. Just simply say, well, that's what I want to get together, with you for. I don't want to talk over the phone about it. It's pretty important to me. Let's just get together for a half hour one night this week. You think you can make that happen? And the results have been significantly higher for me. Paulo, who's on this training right now, is a great example. He hasn't made barely any phone calls. He took my method, or I should say Jason Bias's method, and for those of you who know Eric Worre, he trains on this as well. He took that and ran with it, and he just used it on all his close friends who are used to getting text messages and Facebook. a few points with that. One, don't tell them what it is. Don't explain it. Those are the two keys. Don't tell them what it is and don't explain it. Just set an appointment and then go show the plan. And if you're going to call them, what you see on the screen I think is also very, very important. Number one, for me, is probably the most important. Be in a hurry. If you're not in a hurry, you'll be in a 30-minute conversation on the phone. You'll have told them 28 minutes about the business, and then they'll say, you know what, yeah, I got to go. Yeah, I'll let you know next week. Maybe we can get together. And then next week it's crickets. Be in a hurry. Hey, listen, I'm so glad I caught you. I'm actually running out the door, but I wanted to ask you, you're one of the sharpest people that I know. You're one of the smartest people I know. You're one of the most successful people I know. There's the compliment. I have something I want to run by you. I don't have a lot of time to talk right now, but are you free this week? We can get together maybe for coffee or go grab a drink. I got something I want to show you. Ask them if that that would work for them. Then get a time commitment. Get an appointment. Would Tuesday or Thursday work better? They say, oh, well, I think Tuesday night's kind of crazy. My daughter has softball. Thursday night should work. All right, great. So Thursday night would maybe 6 or 8 work better for you. We could probably get together at 8 o'clock. All right, great. Let's get together Thursday night at 8. And I'm really looking forward to it. Get off the phone. Get off the phone. The first major mistake I made when I joined this business, they got off the phone before I did. It was me going, this is so great. It's like level 1 through 5. It's like a quarter, then you get 50 cents, and it goes like up a lot because, you get associates. They join the team, and then you promote to this, what is it called? Managing, I don't know. You just promote a lot. You get to the top, and then there's like a car program, some trips, and, you want to join. And by that time, they've got the phone down, and they probably hung up on me already. So it's just be fast about it, guys. That's the key. I'm not a huge fan of scripts. Some people train on scripts. People know you. This is a relationship marketing business. And if you come off and you get on the phone, you go, hey, Mike, I'm in a hurry, and, you're really sharp, and I have an opportunity. If you read it like a script, it's just not going to work. Guys, those are guidelines. Really, these steps walk you through a process, which is ultimately getting you an appointment to share your opportunity. Think about it this way. If you were the owner of a multi-million or billion-dollar company, in a way we are. We're part owners on some level of this $7 billion company. Do you want to just text somebody a link, say, check out this $7 billion company? It's pretty cool. Let me know. No, you're going to want to get together with them and be a professional, because if you treat it like a professional, it'll pay you that way. And if you treat it like Eric Worre uses the word poser, you might want to just go with amateur, but if you treat it like an amateur or a poser, you come into this business and you get into the valley of death. John, I think you can also attest to this. We pitched a tent and lived for quite a long time in the valley of death, and we just said too much. We gave people the whole presentation during the invitation, and that's one of the things that we teach with Stream. It's don't mix the presentation with the invitation. It's a separate thing, guys. It's invite them to look, go to that place, get on that time on the phone, wherever it is you set up that appointment. It can be done over the phone. It can be done in person, but that's when the presentation happens, not during the invitation.
Yeah, it's critical, Jeff, and you hit on so many key things. I think that are so important. A lot of people will ask me, what exactly is it that you say every time, and it really there's nothing set in stone. I really don't hardly say anything. If I'm going to call somebody on the phone, and I'm a little bit older than you, Jeff. I've got 20 years on you, but I I use text messaging, I make phone calls, but I never, I can't think, aside from when I see you camped and you pitched your tent in the city that I built in the Valley of Death. You were actually in the city of Corrado in the Valley of Death, and I was there along with all the other guys that and gals that did the same exact thing as well. You just kind of stopped in for a while, you know. There's always a place
briefly.
It's one of those places where lots of people pay a visit, and some people stay for a long time. Yeah, you'll know you're in the Valley of Death if you're frustrated and you're not able to get appointments with people. But guys and gals, it really is very, very simple. You should be able to have a 100% appointment rating. There's absolutely no reason why you can't do exactly what Jeff described via a text message that says, Jeff, I just did this a couple days ago. There's a fellow named Anthony, right from Bethlehem area right here that I probably hadn't seen in, I don't know, maybe a month or two or something like that. We're friendly, we know each other, and I shot him a quick text, hey, let's grab a cup of coffee next week. You up for that? And the answer is, yeah, what day? I'm like, well, what works best for you? And, we're going to get together next Monday evening for a cup of coffee. And, at that point in time, I'm going to share stream with him. Now, he happens to be somebody that I'd met with probably a year ago. And so, he knows full well we're going to be having a conversation about family and business and all sorts of stuff. And I'm going to have the chance to be able to, share with him some of what's going on now in stream that wasn't going on a year ago. But it'll be the same thing for, let's say, somebody that I'd never met with before. Hey, what are you doing on such and such a day? Just like Jeff mentioned in a text message. And even if I'm picking up the phone to call somebody, hey, listen, I've only got a minute right now, but I'm really glad I got in touch with you. Listen, there's something really important I need to share with you. What's going to be the best day for us to get together? And if they persist and ask any questions about them, and I'll do just like what Jeff described, I'll say, listen, I can't get into it right now on the phone, but man, I'm glad we have some time set up on Wednesday at noon. Looking forward to getting a bite to eat with you, man, and I'm really excited to share some stuff with you. Listen, I got to run. I'll talk to you later. And it's just there's no pressure. Not trying to sell anything to anybody. Not trying to convince anyone about anything. Haven't mentioned stream. Haven't mentioned anything but excitement about an opportunity that I've taken a look at, or excitement about an idea that I've got, or excitement about a way that I found to be able to generate an additional income stream, whatever the case might be, just something that's natural for you. And you'll know if you're going into that valley of death if you start to try to explain anything. So that being in a hurry, Jeff, that first point, right, is just such a key.
Oh, absolutely. And if you don't mind, I wanted to add something to kind of circle back to our contact list. This
Sure.
is just something that I noticed a lot when I first got started. This idea of prospecting up. When you get in the business, you think about the people that you'd like to share this with. You put your network down on paper. And then I created in my mind, I guess, my chicken list. Those were the people that I wanted to talk to, who I thought would probably be the best for this. They were the most credible, had the greatest circle of influence. They were positive. They were success-minded. They were motivated, both just generally motivated and financially motivated. And even more so, they just had the money to get started. I went the other way. I prospected down because, hey, I was comfortable there. And if I were, let's say I was a 3 out of 10 on the credible list, and I prospected down to a 2 or a 1, they may say, oh, man, this business is great. 375, oh, my God, I don't make that in a year. Well, that's a problem. Or they would pull the money together, they'd get started, and then I'd realize that they knew 3 people, and those people didn't believe them because they got their money stolen. And I was like, well, I don't really know how to help that person necessarily build a successful business. And not to say that it's not possible, but it's just a lot harder. If you prospect up and share this with somebody that is a credible person and they get involved in the business, think about the contacts that they have. Think about the influence they have with those contacts. If let's say I had contacted you, John, and you weren't in the business. You are a family man, a father of 4. You have all this going for you. You go and share this with somebody that you know, and they're much more willing to listen than somebody who has no credibility whatsoever. Nobody's going to even want to entertain the idea. So it's really important, guys. Prospect up as often as you can. I mean, you should reach out to everyone. I think everyone should see this. But don't avoid that chicken list. I did that. I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and some of them I still have yet to get to, which now as a senior director, I feel a little bit more confident to approach them. But don't wait until you're a senior director. That was my mistake. Just follow the same simple system with these successful people, and I think that's going to help your business really explode.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, Jeff, and kind of skip that, kind of moving into talking about the invitation, but it is critical. And I'll tell you that, so for sure. I mean, if you, the bottom line is that people that have influence and credibility, people that are financially motivated, people that have a positive attitude, and definitely people that have the $375 to get started and the $25 to turn on their website, those attributes are really important attributes that you can look at, as part of, your contact list. It shouldn't disqualify anybody from sharing this presentation with them. That is, if they don't have those criteria that, again, they're credible or influential, that they're financially motivated, that they're positive people, or that they have the money to get started, those are just good indicators that these people should be at the top of your list that have those attributes as part of, their being on your contact list. And here's the thing. And guys, this is true, and gals, this is true in just any area of your life. In order for you to grow, you are going to have to get uncomfortable. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You're the largest fish in the bowl, you're in the wrong bowl. You have got to step outside your comfort zone to grow. So prospecting up or speaking with people that are more influential maybe than you've been to this point, people that have had more success than you, that might petrify you. That's a good thing. It should. And it should also help you to the point where if you actually go and invite a person like that you might be afraid just doesn't really need this. That might be a neurosurgeon that you happen to know, or some other type of a doctor, or a really successful business owner or entrepreneur, or a person that you work with that's highly respected. Those people are going to have amazing influence. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to get started in your stream business, but if you can just get the courage to simply invite them to take a look at information, and you can compliment them, right? You can say, man, you're one of the most successful people I know, and I decided to get started with something, and I have no clue what the heck I'm doing. I would really admire, your input on something here, and just take a look at this for me. You stepping out of your comfort zone to do something like that could pan out very well for you. Now, and if it isn't that person that says yeah to it, and there's a good chance they may, because they'll get it, right? If they look at the information, they'll get it. What if they could refer you to some people? I know plenty of people in Stream that have gone to somebody like a judge, and the judge has referred them to 5 attorneys, and those 5 attorneys all took a look and get started. That judge never wanted anything to do with it, but they gave referrals. If that person, who is a concrete worker, had never gone to that judge in the first place, that person never would have gone to those 5 attorneys who are all successful, incredible, and got in the business and exploded things for that person. So, Jeff, I think that you're talking about prospecting up as a critical point, and it's huge for people to understand that not just in stream, but in anything that you do, you need to shoot for more to be able to be more and to be able to have more in your life and feel more accomplished, I think, in your life as well.
Absolutely. And if I could just add one more point to the prospecting up, just a quick story. When I got started in this business, I decided to take a shot at prospecting up. And I think I went from prospecting 1s and 2s to prospecting an 11. And I didn't really know how to handle myself and got on the phone with him, thought it was going to be great. I wanted to know his opinion. And I got a text message that said, if you want my opinion, you give me a call. And I went, oh boy. So, but I was excited. At that time I was going to do my 3 and 10. I was all fired up, called him up, and yikes. It was just that call for me did two things. One, it scared the crap out of me. But two, it hardened my skin so that somebody else after it didn't even faze me what they said, because that call just a few calls prior, was pretty rough. But what's interesting is that he said to me at the end of the call, he says, this doesn't work. Nobody makes money in this thing unless you get in at the beginning. When you make $1,000 in a week, give me a call. And what's interesting is I'm going to give him a call next week, because just a couple of weeks ago I had that happen. And here I am still, and just keep that in mind when you talk to somebody. It may not happen right away. They may not be willing to listen right away. But if you stick around long enough, they may just listen. They may just get involved. They may just support your business. They may just give you referrals. They don't have to sign up or join the business the first time you show them. It's an exposure to what we do, and then another exposure. If they're not interested, put them on a 6-month follow-up. If you've never read the book, The First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell, he says, everyone on my list I call every 6 months until they either join or they die. And I think it's a funny way to put it, but at the end of the day, that's really it. If you just keep reaching out and you say, hey, you know what, would it be okay if I reached out to you in 6 months to let you know how I'm doing? I haven't had one person say, no, you can't do that. So 6 months from now, you reach out again and, hey, I'm doing really well with this. I'd love to sit down and run it by you and have you really take a look at 100% of the information. And you never know, guys. So just understand that it may not be your invitation skills that are lacking. It just may be not the right time for them. No is not no. It may just be not right now. So keep that in mind when you're inviting. Don't get discouraged.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I think if folks, if you just keep it real simple, this business is really about duplication, and in order to duplicate, it has to be simple. It's a monkey see, monkey do business. So, again, all the scripts in the world for invitations and stuff, they may help you, if anything, maybe just from an understanding of the basic points and really how to just kind of conduct yourself through just inviting someone. In our Freedom Plan booklet, it says, master the invitation, and you'll have mastered the business. And the reason that's the key to the business is that the person that can invite the best will have people be exposed to the business the most. Contacted somebody that was on your contact list, and you invited them, and they took a look at the information, and they weren't ready to get started right then. Timing is critical. And people, not everybody's going to be ready to, not even see the whole presentation and want to join. You will have somebody like that. If you stick with this long enough, you'll have more than one person that really doesn't have to look at much of anything. They even just know that you're involved, and they'll get started with you. And then you're going to have other people where you're going to need to invite them, follow up with them, invite them again, follow up with them again, invite them again, follow up with them again. And that could be a process of weeks, months, or years. So I love that, Jeff, that, every 6 months or until they're dead. They're in your pipeline, no matter what. So listen, that's awesome. And I'm just looking at the time here. We've been going about 45 minutes. We could go on. I know we could probably go on all night here, Jeff, but I'm sure people would appreciate it if we probably didn't do that.
Right.
We've covered these two topics, I think, really, really good. But I'll tell you what, I'd like to give you the opportunity to just kind of close things out here tonight, Jeff. So, anything that's really on your mind, we'll give the person that is the guest on this call the opportunity to share whatever's on their mind, whether it's about the topics tonight or something that you're, sharing with your team, or something that's been just a real good, a tip that you can give folks. So why don't you just kind of close us out, and then I'll just one announcement for next week, and then we'll wrap it up.
That sounds good. I'll do two quick little things. One is just keep filling the pipeline. I heard somewhere, it might have been at a Stream University, or maybe I read it somewhere, but think about it. If you have a pipe and you fill it with water, but you do it one drop at a time, but you only put one drop every week or one drop a month, right when the drop of water hits the pipe, it'll just dry up against the side of the pipe. But if you keep adding drops of water, meaning you keep inviting, you keep sharing this information, you fill the pipeline, eventually water will come out the other side. And it may take a while. It may happen for some people overnight, but it doesn't matter. As long as you keep filling the pipeline, eventually something will come out the other side. It may not be the superstar you're looking for, but it may be the superstar, or they may lead you. Not everyone is a producer. Some are just introducers. They may lead you to the producer that you're looking for on your team. And the last thing I'll say is about a new associate of mine on my team, Paulo. About a year and a half ago, I guess almost now, I reached out to him and asked him if he'd take a look at something. I had an opportunity I wanted to share with him. He said, yeah, absolutely. And I said, if I sent you a video, would you watch it? And, oh, yeah, great. I sent him the video, told him I'll call him in 15 minutes, totally on board. 15 minutes, I called him back, no answer. 10 minutes later, he had defriended me on Facebook. He just wiped me off, just clean, right off. Wanted nothing to do with me. And I had done nothing other than ask him to take a look at something. But 6 months later, I sent him a friend request just to see what he was doing. I didn't say a word. He accepted the friend request. And about 6 months later, he started watching me, seeing the success that I was having. Reached out to me and said he wanted to be a part of the weekly videos I was doing. And being around me week after week after week, I eventually invited him to an entrepreneur night that I had at my place, and he came that night, and something clicked that night, and he said, I'm ready to get started. And the next morning he got started, and within the last 30 days, we've shown the business in 2-on-1 sit-down presentations to so many people. He's promoted to regional director. He's already filling his regional director team with new associates, and it just goes to show you guys, just to really hammer home that point of it's not always no, it just might be not right now. So work on inviting, work on mastering the invitation, but don't keep reinventing the wheel just because somebody doesn't join right away. It might not be you, it just might be them at that particular time. And that's what I'll leave you with. John, I couldn't thank you enough, or can't thank you enough for having me on this training tonight, and for everything you've done for me. The other night when you pinned me, I got all emotional up in front of the crowd, and it's only because of the selflessness of your leadership. You've just done so much more than you need to, above and beyond, and I'm sure everybody on the call agrees with me on that. So thanks a lot for everything.
It's an honor, Jeff. It really, really is, and a privilege as well. It's really, I'm having an absolute blast. The people that you get to meet, like I said, Manny, thank you. I never would have met Jeff, and Christina, you're a lucky gal, because Jeff's a great guy, although you know that, because you married the man. Jeff, I really appreciate that. That's really, really nice of you. And guys, we are here to help. That's what we do, and that's really what our promise is. And the reason we do these sessions every week is because we want folks to have the fundamentals. They say if you can have the fundamentals mastered in anything, or if you ever go astray, if you just go back to the basics, and that's what the fundamentals are all about, then you're on the right path, right? You're not far from the path, and you're pointed in the right direction. At the end of the day, it's all about duplication. So if we can stick with all we're doing is sharing the plan that Stream put out there in these sessions, and we've broken it down into several parts so we can, talk about it more extensively week after week after week after week after week. This is for the new associate. This is for the seasoned associate. And Jeff, you've been an awesome guest tonight. And I'll tell you what, next week we are going to be privileged. I don't know how Steve Fisher is going to be able to measure up to what you've done here tonight, Jeff. But guys, tell the folks that that Mr. Ignite himself is going to be joining us on the fundamental session next week, and we're going to be talking about leadership. And Jeff, here's the thing that blows my mind. When you first get involved with Stream, you're told by people, hey, you've got accessibility to, all the top leaders in the organization, and that's just not something that people are used to, or at least it's not something that I was used to in almost any organization I've ever been in. And over the course of time, a long time, I'm an old man now, right, 46 going on 47 years old. You do learn over the course of time that, people are just people, no matter where they are in their life and in an organization, whether they're the CEO or whether they're the guy in the stock room. They're just people. What I learned in Stream was that these people that are at the top level, again, I'm Donnie Anderson tonight. How is it that we're using Donnie Anderson? Donnie Anderson is one of the top earners in the organization. How are we using his web conferencing stuff tonight? Well, he offered it to us. How did that happen? Just because we're doing training-related stuff, and he said, guys should use this tool because he's just a regular, real guy, even though he's one of the top earners in the company. These people are accessible. Steve was gracious enough to say, man, I'd like to get involved and be on the fundamental session with you guys. I hear that's a good group of people. They want to learn some stuff. So we're pumped. Jeff, you were awesome tonight. Great friend, great guy, great leader. You're going to rock this business continually. I know it. I can't wait to see the things that you do. Guys, get your folks on here next week. We'll have Steve Fisher with us as well, talking about the 5 attributes of a Stream leader. Jeff, listen, man, thanks a million for being here. I really appreciate your time tonight.
Thanks so much, John, and thanks everybody who got on the training with us tonight.
All right, cool beans. Jeff, there were a couple of questions that came in, and I guess do we have contact information? What's the best Facebook? That's Mary Jane Smith. Hey, Mary Jane, we'll get that to you. Angeline just gave Angeline, you are rocking New York. That's Wonder Woman Turbo Girl on Jet Juice. Up in New York. I cannot keep up with that woman. She is just all over the place up there. God. She says, great call tonight, Jeff. So great feedback here, man. Thomas Altman saying awesome stuff. So great positive feedback, Jeff. Thanks a million. Hey, guys, and thanks a lot. Listen, we'll see you next week. This was recorded. I started the recording a couple minutes into it, Jeff, so we didn't get it out of the gate, but I'll have this available, and we'll be able to post this up on Facebook for folks as well.
Awesome.
All right. Hey, listen, say hi to your lovely wife for me. And, guys, until next time, we'll see you later. Thanks a million. Take care, guys.
Good night, everybody. Thanks.